Okay, I was muted. So, welcome to the show, fam. Get my notes pulled up here. Wait for a couple of people to come in. At least two. Gotta get at least two. All right, I'll be right back. Let me get my I need to grab something. All right, so I'm just go ahead and get started. So I want to talk about Jenn Soto. We're gonna get into eventually all the rest of the stuff. Stephen Stearns, um, the document dump, the 896-page document. I had started reading it, but I stopped because when I do read it, I want to read it with you guys, and we're just gonna do like live reactions, open panels on it, and we're also doing open panel today. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and post the link for the panel, and let me get over here and pin that link. Content 5. Pin that. Okay, I am looking for. I can't find it. Looking for it, can't find it. Where is it? I got the chat and put it over here. Still cannot find what I'm looking for. This is crazy. Well, can't find what I'm looking for, so I guess. We'll just get on with it. All right, so Jennifer Soto. Um, in a nutshell, we've seen her tell blatant and obvious lies. In this case, we've had questions about why would she do that? You know, how much does she know? Considering the length of time that the abuse of Maddie was going on, how did she not know or suspect anything? Then we get bombshells like she allowed Maddie and Stefan to sleep in the bed together alone when she quote unquote needed a good night's rest. So there's a whole lot going on here that just doesn't really add up, doesn't make sense to a normal, logical person, especially not to a normal parent. I'm a parent. I would never have my children sleep in the bed with me and a boyfriend with me there, let alone by themselves. Simply because of the day and age that we live in, you don't know what a person is up to, whether your child is male or female. I feel like they're equally as likely to be tampered with. And so, why would you put your child in a situation where that's even possible? So, first, I want to talk about Jenn Soto, guilty or not. And actually, that's all we're going to talk about today. Whether or not she's guilty, whether or not she had knowledge, whether or not she participated in the murder and or disposal of the body. Um, there's just a lot going on. So my first question is, what was Jen's reaction when she was first told that Maddie was believed to be dead already? And that was the first question that came to my mind for the simple fact that if someone tells me that they believe my child is already dead, even though they haven't found them, I would freak the flip out. That's just what it is. I would be inconsolable. I would be in denial. I would be telling them no, she's not dead. You better find her. Blah blah blah. I wish and hope. I'm pretty sure it's eventually gonna come out, but I wish we could see the body cam of that moment or hear a recording of that moment. Now, it strikes me as a key point because when they when they told her that Stefan was tampering with Maddie, she didn't believe it. Then they showed her a picture, and the description of the picture, as I recall it, was a picture of Maddie with Stefan's male parts in Maddie's mouth. Apparently, Stefan has a very distinctive black birthmark on his member, and Jen's reaction was that she didn't recognize anything in the picture. That always struck me really hard because how did she not even recognize her daughter in the picture? She said she didn't recognize anything. So that would include Maddie. So I feel like her first reaction to being told that Maddie was dead was should have been a complete freak out. But based on what we've seen so far of Jen during this investigation, it may not have been a freak out. She may have just dropped her head, or she may have gotten that uh, stuck in the stars look that she likes to get on her face, where she just seems completely oblivious to whatever is being communicated to her. Um, so I am anxiously awaiting that body cam footage to come out or that recording. Now, the next thing that went across my mind was she knew something, but what and when did she know? I feel like that we have photographic and videographic evidence of Maddie being abused from age 8. But personally, I believe it could have started much earlier. And this is something that was also pointed out by another creator, and I can't remember. It might have been True Crime with Strategic Eyes in his videos. That Maddie could have been being abused as early as 6 years old, because that would be the earliest time that Stefan was in her life. And it may be that he started tampering with her much earlier than we have photographic evidence of, and that he just eventually came to the point where he was comfortable with recording it. And so, since since it's potentially 7 years that Stefan has been tampering with Maddie, how could Jen not know anything? She had to know or suspect something. Um, did his did Stefan uh, spend inordinate amount of time with Maddie? Was he completely, his conversation is constantly Maddie, Maddie, Maddie? There had to be something there that would make her think, what's going on with this? So, what did she know and when did she know it? What did she suspect and when did she suspect it? And more importantly, what were her thoughts about whatever she suspected or knew? Obviously, the thoughts could not have been to protect Maddie, because had she been aware of this at an earlier stage and been a proper parent with a desire to protect her child, we wouldn't be here today talking about Maddie's abuse and murder, because as soon as she found out what was going on, she would have put a stop to it had she been a normal and caring parent. Not only that, if she suspected something, she would have separated Stearns and Maddie, even to the point of if she broke up with him. So it's hard to say what she knew and when she knew it, because she is such a she's a character, that's for sure. Her reactions are all off. The way she approaches the situation just seems all off. The lies that she's told are completely and definitely off. And it's just nothing about this whole case is sitting right with me when it comes to Jennifer Soto. Now, I want to get into the night that Maddie was murdered, the night or early morning that she was murdered. And these are going to be some theories and hypotheses that might offend some people, but please believe me, I am 100% pro Maddie and anti Stefan and Jen. But I feel like the best way to approach any situation is to look at it from all angles. Whether or not it's an angle that you agree with doesn't mean that it's not a possibility. And so we're going to be looking at all possibilities. The first thing I want to say, everybody's saying, everyone is so sure that Stefan murdered Maddie. Now we know that he had something to do with disposing of the body because of uh, video footage that has been put out and a witness who saw him in the area changing a flat tire. There's the video of him at the vacation club hotel. I don't remember Hyatt, Marriott, whatever, but it was called Club Vacation. And there's the video of him getting out of the driver's side, opening the trunk of the car, going to the passenger side, and then carrying what looks to be a limp body from the passenger side to the trunk. So we know that he has something to do with the disposal of the body, if nothing else. So I want to think about other possibilities about how Maddie could have died minus Stephen Stearns. And that only leaves Jennifer Soto. So, did Jennifer kill Maddie? And then jumping ahead a little bit, we have video evidence of Jennifer's car in the middle of the night driving to the body disposal area and back to the apartment. So that also leaves open the possibility that she had something to do with the disposal of or the covering up of the body, maybe positioning it, maybe covering it more with or brush and leaves or whatever, but there's always that possibility. Now, rewind back to what happened in the apartment that night leading up to the disposal. And there are several ways that this could have gone down. We can all imagine multiple ways that Stefan could have murdered her. Now, the first thing that we heard about Maddie's death is that she was strangled. That was the first thing that was floating around. No, actually, the first thing that was floating around was that she died of some type of head trauma, or that she had some type of head trauma. And then later on, the strangulation theory came into the mix. So what I want to look at is not how she died, but whose hand she died by. It's easy to say Stephen Stearns. That dude is guilty of so much till it's just not even funny. But what about Jenn? Could Jenn have actually been the one who killed Maddie? Now, here are some of my ideas about how Jenn could have come to be the murderer. Now, we know that predators groom their prey. Um, they can manipulate the child into believing that I'm the only person who loves you, I'm the only person who's there for you, um, I'm the only person who cares about your future and wants to see you happy. They also can manipulate into having the child think that there's some type of romantic relationship there. We're boyfriend and girlfriend. And it's a secret. You can't tell anyone. We'll let them know in time. You know, we don't know what he was telling this little girl. Now, this is the theory that is probably going to have a lot of people giving me flack, but please remember this is only a theory and this is not what I believe. Let's say, for instance, Stephen Stearns had groomed Maddie in such a way that she believed they were boyfriend and girlfriend. Could it be that there was some type of argument, disagreement, or whatever in the home that night of the 25th or early in the morning of the 26th, where Maddie and Jennifer ended up exchanging words, and Maddie may have said something, you know, touching on the fact that her and Stefan were boyfriend and girlfriend, and Jenn was nothing, and whatever. And Jenn just went into a blind rage and either hit Maddie over the head or choked her, or maybe choked her and hit her over the head, pushed her, and she hit her head on something, which would account for the trauma to the head, and then strangled her to death. Um, could it be that Jenn discovered that night what was going on? Maybe she woke up in the middle of the night and went into the room where Stefan and Maddie were sleeping and saw them engaged and flew into a jealous rage, taking it out on Maddie and not Stefan, taking it out on Maddie as if Maddie were competition, and that led to Jennifer murdering Maddie. Um, could it be that Maddie threatened to tell police or CPS or someone at school? Could it have been that this was the night that Maddie finally said no? We know that Maddie had began to have interest in boys at school, and was most likely wanting to have a boyfriend her own age. Um, and maybe this was the night that she told Stefan no. Now, that one is kind of harder to bring Jen into it because her telling Stefan no would most likely lead to him being the murderer and not Jen. But we also have to take into consideration that Jen may well have known what was going on the whole time. Maddie may have been Jen's bargaining chip to keep Stefan in her life. And Jen, seeing that Maddie is now rejecting Stefan, thinks, well, maybe this means that Stefan will no longer be in my life. And so she attacks Maddie because Maddie is messing up her plans. And she attacks her to the point that Maddie dies. Is that a possibility? Of course, it's a possibility. Anything is possible. Now, I also wondered this one thing: is there a possibility that Maddie's death didn't have anything to do with whatever was going on with Stefan Stearns? Could it be that now we know that Maddie was not really happy with her birthday party or the presents that she received or whatever? Could Maddie have been just complaining and complaining and just 13 years old, you remember emotions running high. Things seem like more of a big deal than what they are. And maybe to her, the way her birthday party and gifts went was just the end of the world. And so she was not in a good mood. She was not happy. She was complaining. Jennifer goes into a rage because she feels like Maddie is ungrateful and blah, blah, blah. And we end up with Maddie dead. That is the only scenario that I could think of that would not involve Stefan Stearns um, directly or indirectly, uh, as far as having Jennifer as the murderer. And I don't think that's likely at all because I honestly don't think Jennifer really cared very much about Maddie's birthday party or how it went because otherwise she would have been there. Um, I'm sorry, but my kids' birthdays are very important to me even now. And my kids are adults. And I make a way, you know, if I can't be there, if I can't give you anything, I make a way to let you know how important and significant your birthday is to me, even if it's just with a lavish Facebook post, or I send you a text with lots of hearts and party stuff, or, call you to personally wish you a happy birthday. And so maybe I don't think Jen really cared very much about the birthday. Now, true enough, they're saying that she had only recently started a new job. And I know that when you start a new job, sometimes it's hard to get the days off that you want. But in a situation like that, you already knew her birthday was coming up and you knew when the party was going to be. Then you could have, when you were first hired, say, hey, I'm absolutely not available on such and such date. I have a prior commitment and I won't be able to come in on that date. So there were ways that uh, Jen could have been there had she really wanted to. Um, I've wondered a lot about the scenario. If anybody watching this has ideas of what they think the scenario was that led up to Maddie's murder, please, by all means, drop it in the comments or hop up on the panel and we can talk about it right now. Um, but by all means, leave your comments about what you think led up to Maddie's murder and who you believe the murderer was. if you believe it was Jenn, please elaborate on why and how you think um, Jenn was the murderer. I do respond to all comments that need a response, um, and I would love to have a discussion with you guys, a continued discussion about the murder of Maddie Soto. All right. So we already covered. I'm looking at my notes. We already covered. Maddie said something that made Jenn jealous of quote unquote relationship between Maddie and Stefan. We covered that already. Uh, Maddie threatened to tell. We covered that. Maddie told Jenn what was going on, and Jenn blamed Maddie and flew into a rage. We've kind of already touched on that Maddie threatened to tell, and that's Jenn went into a tailspin, and then Maddie did. Now, let me see if I can find it real quick. There's something I want to share with you guys. I wasn't sure if I was going to or not, and so I didn't pull it up. But let me go ahead and pull this up real quick, and we're going to watch this together for a second and see. Sorry for the pause. I know you're not really supposed to have pauses in your video. Okay. Share it. See if I got share it. Guys, pardon me, I haven't been on here a long time, so that's not. Let's try again. Share screen. There we go. That's right. Full screen. Now, this is the body cam footage from the Maddie being reported missing that night at her grandmother's office. And this is the one where Stefan and Jenn are kind of center focus, and then you see all the family all around in the office. So let's go ahead and get started on that, and we're going to comment on it.
Like 5 or 6? 5 or 6 kids at the park. All right, hang on, give me a second. Hey, go ahead. Are you able to pick up all that remotely? I'm currently working possible signal lead. Can you try and hold up on that? The other one? 26. Oh. Of course. Do they speak English? This is mom. This is mom. Okay. Hi there. Hey there. Hey there. What's going on? So my daughter was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it. I went to her school. Go ahead, sir. Are we looking for another kid, or are we not?
Now, what I want you to really notice in this video is how uh, awkward Jenn Soto is in her movements, in the way she speaks, in the way that she describes the events. It's all just awkward and off, especially body positioning with her hands. The way she rocks back and forth from one leg to the other is not even like most people would rock back and forth from one leg to the other. Her whole persona or affect at this point is just totally weird.
Looking for another one. All right, so we're showing that out. Um, try to get that right. Okay. So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school. Make it to school. I went to pick her up today, and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. Came here, nothing. I went back to the school.
All right, her response right there, yeah, but I wasn't there, so I have to look it up. Did that seem a bit snappy to you? Um, that right there kind of made me think that she was a bit bothered by not being able to be at Maddie's birthday party, but yeah, you know, maybe, maybe not.
I'm gonna
And
send it out right
Stephen is
now
just
to my other guys.
Stephen is just standing there looking like he hasn't a clue what's going on. Just to point this out real quick, we just saw the time on the officer's phone as 19:42. That's 7:42 p.m. For some reason, everybody has been saying that she was reported missing at like 8:30 or whatever, but we can see from the time on his phone that it was 7:42. Back it up just a little bit so we can all see that 1942 is 12:42 is 7:42 p.m. So she was actually reported missing about a quarter to. Well, we've been in this video for about 5 minutes, so about 7:40 ish p.m.
Oh, since I don't know, but whenever they, what did you say the wishing for? My question is now, why is it not a code first came out? Let's see. Also, that last time she was seen, it was early this morning, like 7 o'clock. That's what I'm about to see. About to go check. I just try to get as much information now of her clothing descriptions than the DS has a hit, like a big area full of hits. So if you want to help me out, I'll see no.
You know what else I noticed? Until just now, when she said he dropped her off, she made no distinction about who dropped her off. She just said she got dropped off near school. She didn't. She wasn't specific about I dropped her off or Stefan dropped her off or whatever. Until just now, she says he dropped her off, and it makes me wonder if maybe this was she was intending to go with the whole we thing that she did in the news interview. Also, it's kind of odd that he says it looks the same as any other morning when he really doesn't drop her off very often at school by his own admission. This was only the fourth or fifth time that he had dropped her off. So, by him saying that as if it's just normal par for the course, oh, it looked the same as any other morning, he's giving the impression that he drops her off at school on a regular basis and that nothing was out of the ordinary from any other time that he had dropped her off. So what say you so far in this video? Does it seem like Jen is covering? Does it seem like she's trying to put on an act as if she doesn't know and she only found out at 4 o'clock and all that other stuff? What do you think?
Yeah,
Now you heard him say we dropped her off.
the rest of us stuff here.
Hey Rod, nice to see you. So I'm not gonna play this whole video. I really just wanted to kind of show the awkwardness of it all. You saw the different like weird positions. Even now, she Jen is holding her arm in this really unnatural position. Their hand kind of cupped, arm across the body, hand kind of cupped is weird. Like nobody holds their arm like that. Like why is she doing it? So it makes me just the whole way she presented during this body cam footage just makes me wonder at this point, how much did she know? Was she in at a point where she was suspecting Stearns but not really wanting to put that out there? Maybe she was just starting to suspect something was odd about him and his story, or was she trying to cover for what she knew? And make it seem like she really didn't know. Raw, I have not been able to find that clip. I've seen it once and I haven't been able to find it since then where she's comforting him. But yeah, that clip right there was crazy. She was comforting him, whereas you would think it would be the other way around. Her daughter is missing. He should be comforting her. She should be hysterical. You know, if my kid was missing at the point of this body cam video, Daddy had supposedly been missing for 12 going on 13 hours. But for 12 going on 13 hours, if my kid was missing and didn't come home from school, I would be freaked out. Somebody would have to tell me something. Stephen would have to go over his story a million times. Where did you drop her off? When did you drop her off? What time was it? What did you do before that? Did you go to McDonald's? Did you not go to McDonald's? Or did you come straight home after you dropped her off? Did you go somewhere else? Did you see any cars around? Did you see people walking down the street? I would have had a million and one questions. And she's just kind of, my daughter's missing. She was last seen wearing, and that's another thing. She was last seen wearing. She says that like she's a detective or something. You know, nobody says that. If my kid was missing, and you ask me, well, what was she wearing? I'm not gonna say she was last seen wearing this, that, and the other thing. I'm gonna say, um, green sweater, I believe black shorts, Crocs. I'm not gonna say she was last seen wearing. That's just weird verbiage for the context of this video. Um, there's another one that I want to get up here. Let's see. Trying to think of how to search it. So oh, wait a minute, I closed the wrong thing. Reopen close tab, StreamYard, stop presenting. Yeah, I talked about that too. She didn't make any way to go to her daughter's 13th birthday party. And that's like a really important age, a really important, you know, time in a child's life. They're becoming a teenager, and let me see if I can. All right, I think I just messed up something. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I got it. Hey, Carly. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I've been kind of busy lately. I haven't been able to get the time in that I want. I do have some other Maddie Soto videos. If you want to check those out, it will be the last 3 or 4 videos that I did in my content list. If you go to my videos and do the most recent first, you'll catch a few more of the Maddie Soto case. Um, and thanks for joining us again. I appreciate that. All right, so this is the interviews that they did with the news. Um, this might actually have the clip where she's comforting him because his video is first. So we're gonna watch his just to see for that, and then we'll also discuss his a little bit. But I really want to see her interview, and let's talk about that. So let's just go ahead and get this ball rolling.
So the first question is if I can have your first, your last name. Jenn.
Okay, first off, the shaking. What she's doing is she's bouncing her leg, and it's really awkward how you can tell when she's getting stressed about questions because she bounces that leg so hard till it seems like she's gonna shake the camera off the block.
Jennifer Soto, JENNIF.
My bad. Was the sound muted for the video? Because I muted my mic. I think I need to figure out what's going on with that because I think that's what happened before, and I'm not sure how I did it to where I could mute my mic and still have the sound playing. So uh hopefully we won't get any feedback or anything. I'm just gonna leave my mic unmuted.
So the first question is if I can have your first, your last name, and spell them both out for me. Okay. Jennifer Soto, JENNIFER.
Y'all can hear now, right?
Mother. Jennifer, tell me how you feel right now. I feel like I can't breathe.
Did anybody else notice how she just got kind of breathless with that? And it's like she had to make herself get in that mode, like I feel like I can't breathe.
All I keep thinking about is where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay? But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried. When did you first realize, or when did you file a missing report? We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning, around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning. She went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry. That should be it. Sorry about that. We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
Now here we go with the we dropped her off at school. Oh yeah, Carlin, check out Raw the Creator's channel too. She has some really good videos with some really good insights.
Not sure what I'm allowed to share. You share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. I know you had conversations with detectives. Not sure what that conversation is, but whichever you feel comfortable sharing, that we'll put the awareness out there. Yeah, she was spotted walking by the church, by the middle school, on the cameras. They saw her hang out in the parking lot for a little bit and then get up and leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything else. They just saw her walk away.
around 9 a.m. heading towards the school, but she never made it.
What has the school said? Have you been in contact with the school?
Yes, that they're doing everything they can. They've given me all their resources. The principals called me. They've looked at their cameras. I don't think they've caught anything on the cameras is too far away from the sidewalk. Everything is too grainy, so they can't see specific faces. But they've looked. I'm just waiting to hear anything else from them.
Is this normal behavior?
Not
to
at all.
just not show up and call or text or anything?
Not at all, no. She, from time to time, she will leave her cell phone at home accidentally, and that's actually what happened yesterday. She left her phone at home. She went to school. But that happens from time to time. She's got ADHD, her memory. She's very forgetful.
And here we go, this ADHD stuff. See, I always have a problem with it whenever a child goes missing and the people responsible for that child's safety seem like they want to throw derogatory remarks toward the child. You know, she's ADHD. You remember in the Isabella Kalua Ariel Sellers case where they kept saying things about Ariel, like she likes to go outside and sleep at night and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like it's all designed to make it seem like it's the child's fault that they're missing.
So yeah, there's no way to track her right now because the detectives don't have her phone. But this isn't normal behavior now.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your
daughter? We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working.
That's a lie, because her friends are saying that she was not happy with her birthday party. She didn't. There weren't enough people that showed up. She wasn't happy with the gifts that she received from the people who did show up. So that is a lie.
But she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it. I was the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner.
13.
She's 13 years old.
13.
Madeline.
What are you thinking right now?
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, or just not go to school.
Friends, the friend's parents, you've contacted through every single person.
Everyone that we know that she knows, we contacted them all, reached out to them. The parents have gone out to search and look for her as well.
And it's crazy because everybody's searching for Maddie except her mother. Her mom did not go on one single search for this child, except for whatever she said she did that first day. She went to her mom's office, she drove around a little bit, whatever. But as far as active, organized searches, she didn't participate in any of them. Girl, if my kids was missing, you wouldn't have to organize a search because I'll be out there from beginning to end, top to bottom.
And we haven't come up with anything yet.
I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Hunter's Creek, Branson Bridge, what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of like search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer, like if there is one, if they can do one. I have people passing out flyers, going to every store in that vicinity, gas station, church. I think people people were being stopped in the street this morning in front of the school to see if they've seen anything, if they've heard anything. My family they're going all out right now. Yeah.
I know as a mother, a lot is going on in your brain,
So much.
to bring her back home. What have the law enforcement told you that you are able to share?
I mean, that they're doing the best they can. They've had detectives come out, interview us.
I want the transcripts or the audio from those interviews. I am so ready for this trial to go ahead and get kicked off because if they televise this trial, I'm going to cover it top to bottom.
Took a piece of her clothing for the canine dog to see if they can sniff her out. I'm not sure when that's being done.
Do you have any inkling where she possibly could be? Like if you would say, okay, last time I went to work and came back, she was at Jane's house or Sabrina's house, and maybe I forgot to check that house, or she played at this park one weekend. Maybe she built back there or something like that.
We've looked everywhere we could have thought, and anywhere she would have been. She would have known to wait for me at the school. But we did check where if she could have walked. My mom's office is close to the school. We checked there. We checked the walking paths that she could have taken. We checked all of the friend's house. I think we checked everywhere I could think of, honestly.
Now she says she's checked all of her friends' houses, but you'll notice in the body cam footage when she was talking to the police to report her missing, she said that Maddie didn't know where any of her friends lived.
What do you think? Oh gosh, I just had to tip my tongue. What was she wearing?
She was last seen wearing a green
There we go again. She was last seen wearing
hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs, a black JanSport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it.
And you said this is not like her
Not at all.
to run away, argument, anything like that to provoke her.
She's never done anything like this, no. And we haven't had any arguments recently to have this outcome.
What school?
Hunters Creek Middle School.
Tom, any questions?
No.
Is there anything that you think our viewers need to know about the way you're feeling, family's feeling, Madeline?
You're desperate for any answers, anything that you can do to help. I'm here for it. Just please, if you see my daughter, just please bring her home. Just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt. Just hope she's okay.
When did you notice that she was missing? Because this was at the beginning of the morning.
She got dropped off in the morning. We did not notice until after school pickup at 4 o'clock when I went to go pick her up and she wasn't at school.
So we're going in 24 hours now.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing. No word. No text message. No messages anywhere from her.
No text messages. How is she going to text message when you have her phone? She said in the interview where she was reporting Maddie missing, she didn't have her phone with her today. I have it. She forgot it and left it at home. So now she's saying no text messages. How do you expect a text message from a kid who doesn't have a phone?
I've looked at all her social medias. I've looked at all her games she could have played with, any app. No weird conversations. No, nothing strange. Everything was conversations with just normal friends or us.
That she knows how to get home by herself, as if like let's just say, take a bus or an Uber or something like that, she would know how to get home alone, correct?
Sure. Maybe, I mean, if someone, I'm thinking if someone got in the car with her and if she pointed the way, what roads, she probably could figure out how to get, but like, does she know her full address? I don't think she does.
Which would give me it just puts in my brain that she
That's another thing that's kind of crazy to me, that she would be 13 years old and not know her complete address. In my family, we teach our kids their address early. I knew when I was, God, as far back as I can remember, I knew my address.
This comes home with someone.
She just comes home with me.
There's no need for her to really.
Exactly.
Okay. And you said no time? I think that was everything. All right, the first question is if I can get your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephen Stearns, STEPHAN STERNS.
All right, so Stephen, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
And there he goes, getting himself in that act. That deep breathing, that sigh, putting on that persona.
Dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. So last time we saw her,
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
not much. She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school.
Right, Rod? And my phone number. Yeah, you're right.
When she got out, I love her. Said thanks, love you too. That was it.
And so where do you think she could possibly be? I mean, this isn't, as I was told, this isn't normal behavior.
It was not going to be.
My 4-year-old granddaughter, she doesn't know her address or phone number, but she can tell you the names of all the important people in her life. Her mother, her father, her Gigi. She can tell you their first and last name.
Either she's not the type that would just run off. We don't know where she can. We're scared. We just want her home.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
I dropped her off early. I could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school when I saw her. It was like any other day, so I went on with my day. It's hard not to blame myself.
I just want to throat punch him.
What has the conversation been with Jenn since?
She's been a lot stronger than me. She's been holding it together really well. It just keeps coming in waves. Just reality changing. We don't know where she is. We don't know if she's safe. We're scared. We just don't know.
Have you, like, literally put boots on the ground, went out?
Yeah, I dealt with the cops where I had dropped her off, and we looked all up and down the road, all around communities, and there was nothing helpful. None of the cameras were pointing the street. Nothing. Which in 2024 was surprising. The church across the street had some cameras, and they mentioned seeing her waiting around in the parking lot for a while before moving on. That was it. If it was grainy footage and not much else.
It seems like she walked west, east.
But they said in the direction of the school. I'm not sure what that is.
What was the language? Not language verbally, language, body language.
Right, Carly?
You dropped her off. Did she seem happy? Was she like, I'm going to be my friends?
She had a happy weekend. She just turned 13. She had a 13th birthday party. She was.
And going back to the body cam from the initial missing report on Maddie, this dude's been in that kid's life for 7 years. There's a point in one of his interviews where he says he loved her like she was his own. And if that was the case, there's no way I could have stood there as calmly and quietly as he did. As soon as the cops were asking questions, I would have been answering to. Me and Jen would have been tripping over each other trying to get the answer out. So yeah, nothing about him lines up.
Happy that we were all together here. She's very happy. She was a happy kid. She's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl. She brings a lot of joy to us, and
She brings a lot of joy to us. That statement just really turns my stomach knowing what he did to her.
not knowing.
So the unknown is coming.
Yeah, it's like our whole world is upside down. Not feeling her presence here is. Sorry. It's hard.
I know you're fine. Don't need to apologize. What do you want our viewers to know when they see this?
She's a sweetheart. She's a very sweet, kind girl. Just please be nice to her. Bring her home if you find her. Tell her that we love her. Wherever she is, I hope she goes.
I mean, if someone were to come in contact with her and you gave me her diagnoses, would it be easy to approach her without any like agitation or anything?
Yeah. She's a good kid. She's a good kid.
If you can sum up in one complete sentence, waking up, getting ready to drop her off at school, dropping her off at school, to now speaking to me after talking to the police about her missing for over 24 hours right now. In what complete sentence would that be?
A living nightmare. It's a living nightmare. They started off like any other. And I just want to wake up. Just get hit with waves of the reality because it's setting in.
His whole crying thing is fake, and even his eyes. He probably was in the bathroom rubbing his eyes to make them red and swollen before this interview, so he can look like he's been crying.
As soon as it got dark last night, we started falling apart. We knew it wasn't going to come to an end. You know, we're
We knew it wasn't going to come to an end.
going on 24 hours, it's still nothing. Conflicting reports here and there. People say they see this or that. None of it's conclusive. None of it's helpful. We just want a baby girl back.
Tom, any questions?
No.
Thank you.
Madeline Soto's 13th birthday party was
So I'm not gonna hang out here too much longer. I really just wanted to kind of talk about Jennifer Soto and what she did or didn't know. Is she guilty or innocent? Was she a participant on any level? And we've covered that pretty well today. The next time I come on, I'm not sure when that'll be, but the next time I come on, we're going to dive into that 896 page document. Like I said at the beginning, I started reading it, but then I stopped because I want to do it live here with you guys. I know everybody's already covered that document, but I haven't covered it. So, hey, if you haven't already, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Drop a comment on the video to help the algorithm start pushing my channel out more. I am definitely going to be investing more time into this channel like I used to. We're mainly going to be covering Madeline for right now. If any other cases come up that kind of pique my interest, we'll cover those too. But for now, I'm just focusing on Madeline. You guys know that I kind of dropped off here for a while because it got to be a little overwhelming with constantly covering children being beaten, abused, murdered, raped, and just it was a bit much. So we're going to focus on just one or two cases at a time. If you have any suggestions for a second case, then you are welcome to send me those suggestions at misssavagesays@gmail.com. That's Miss Savage Says all together, MSSAVAGESAYS@gmail.com, or you can text it. You can text it to the channel phone number 234-3482-557. That's 234-34-TALKS. Again, I'm not going to stay on here too much longer. We've pretty much covered everything that I wanted to cover. Just guys, keep praying for justice for Madeline. I really and truly believe that Jennifer Soto was more involved than what we know. And my prayer is that she will be brought to justice too, that we will see some charges against her soon, because there is absolutely no way. Well, I can think of one way that she did not know or hear anything that night when Maddie was murdered. Now there are certain psych meds. They keep on saying that they got these different mental health issues or whatever. I haven't heard any said that will require certain psychological drugs, but I know for a fact from personal experience that if she was on Seroquel, it's possible she didn't hear a word. So help me God, I took some Seroquel once, and I got off work that Thursday evening, took a shower, whatever I was gonna do, eat and all that. I took the Seroquel. It was a Seroquel 600. I took it, and I did not wake up until Saturday afternoon. So I slept from Thursday night to Saturday afternoon, and as far as I can recall, I didn't even get up to go to the restroom. Um, so it's possible that she was on some heavy psych meds and didn't hear anything. Shoot, with that Seroquel, I know for a fact it could have happened right there in the room with her, and she probably wouldn't have heard it. But I doubt that she was on that, because I haven't. They don't give you Seroquel for like ADHD and stuff. The stuff that they've named so far. Actually, the person who gave me the Seroquel, because I was so tired, the person who gave me the Seroquel had some serious psych issues. And I'm not gonna, well, it was like schizophrenic and different other stuff like that. And he was like, hey, take this. I guarantee you'll sleep. So, anyway, I will be back sometime next week, and we're going to go over that 896-page document. I haven't been on much lately because we've had a lot going on in the family. My daughter and her husband moved cities, so I've had the girls a lot. And y'all know how Bubby is. Bubby ain't trying to hear that go live. Bubby needs all her GG's attention at all times. So that's why I haven't been live for the last like 2 months, because I've had the girls more often than not. But they're settled in their new city now, so the girls won't be back for a little while. I'll see you guys next week for the 896-page document. We're going to do that in segments. Thanks again for joining. I appreciate it. Please be on the lookout for me next week. Love y'all, and bye.